Good morning. Day one of BookTubeAthon, which officially started about 7 hours ago. This is my first start of the day, and I'm going to be beginning the readathon with my easiest read, which is read a book in a day. And I'm starting off with just this little manga here, Blue Exorcist, number 17. I'll report back. So I just completed my first challenge for BookTubeAthon. That was read a book in one day, and I gave this 5 stars. Absolutely love it. I highly recommend this series, and I just love the artwork. Look how detailed the backgrounds are and everything. Really great characters. Lots of good adventure. The next book up I'll be starting is the one to read outside, and that is Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. Morning guys, it's day 2 of the BookTubeAthon. I didn't vlog very much yesterday, so I left a lot of information out as to what I was reading after I'd gone outside to read Heart of Darkness. I actually started 4 books yesterday. One that you saw that I finished, then I went outside to read Heart of Darkness, got a little tired after a few hours of sitting outside, came back in, started a 3rd book, which was Tosh Hart's Tolstoy, the book with a person on the cover. Sort of a YA book about a modern adaptation of Anna Karenina, and it's a webcast. It's pretty good. I'm enjoying it so far. I read that till about 3 o'clock when I had to leave. I went out to a used bookshop. I actually picked up a copy of Anna Karenina. Then on the way to that bookshop, I listened to an audiobook, so that was my 4th book I started. And I also brought along Heart of Darkness, because at about 6:30 I was meeting a bunch of friends for dinner, and I knew I was going to get there early, so I sat in the parking lot for like another hour and read some more of Heart of Darkness. And then when I came home, it was a bit late, didn't really feel like picking those up, and I wanted to kind of keep going with War and Peace, which I'm reading for the read-along. So I read a few more pages of that, and then it was lights out. So this morning I'm probably going to continue with Tosh Hart's Tolstoy for a bit until it warms up a little bit more out here, and then I don't know, we'll pick up something else. So I'll be back later. Skippy and I are at the park, so I'll be listening to my audiobook for a little bit. Well, Skippy's walk at the park kind of got cut short because they're fertilizing, so didn't want her walking around in that. So instead I took her over to a friend's house. They recently lost their little dog. It was Skippy's boyfriend, so she likes a visit from her. So we spent a little time there, and now we're home, and I'm going to continue my outdoor book, Heart of Darkness. I haven't made too big of a dent in that, but I'm going to keep plugging away. I got tired of sitting on my butt, so I'm going for a walk and listening to my audiobook. I'm back from my walk, and I'm just going to chill out in the house for a while and continue with my ebook, which is the YA one I'm reading, and back later. Okay, a little later in the evening I went back to reading Heart of Darkness outside. I kind of had to backtrack a little bit in this book because I was having a little trouble following what was going on, and I started getting right back into it and getting really interested in some exciting scenes that were happening. It kind of was getting too dark to read outside, so I came in. I have like 18 more pages left to finish this, so I should be finishing this off tomorrow. I'm going to climb into bed now and do a little bit more reading before the end of day 2, and I'll be picking up my ebook again, and I'll just read through this. And are these cute? These are my little screensavers I put on here a long time ago. This is Skippy when she was a puppy. I just adore those. But anyway, that's what I'll be doing for the end of day 2. See you tomorrow. So this afternoon, amongst the sweltering humidity outdoors, I managed to finish The Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. I guess that humidity kind of put me in the mood for the book in the setting of the Congo and Africa where this predominantly takes place. I had a little trouble with the book. I had to kind of backtrack after kind of getting into it for a bit, and I lost my way as to who was telling the story. It begins with an unnamed first narrator who we only encounter at the beginning and the very end of the book. He, along with 5 of his oldest friends, are sort of traveling up the Thames. Most of the other characters are just named by their profession. We have an accountant, a lawyer, the director. The only character that's named is Charlie Marlowe. And he ends up being our second and main narrator throughout the entire book. Charlie Marlowe is a seaman who loves to spin yarns. As a child, he loved to look at the blank spaces on maps and would say, I would one day visit that place, I would one day visit this place. There's kind of a nice passage here which kind of describes it. It's by the time he grew older, a lot of these blank spaces were filled up with river names and place names and things, so they ceased to be places of mystery. He says a white patch on a map for a boy to dream gloriously over became a place of darkness, of unknown. And this sort of darkness that you enter is like the heart of darkness is sort of a theme that runs a bit in the book. So traveling into the unknown, like the Congo, is entering into the heart of darkness. But it also will come to mean more than that. It's within the heart of man and man's actions towards other men. So I like the kind of dual meaning to the title of the book. Within this sort of heart of darkness, Marlowe sees this mighty river, kind of like a snake uncoiled, and he becomes charmed by this snake and desires to travel down it. And he comes to hear of a trading company that recently lost one of its captains of a steamboat, and he goes about getting a position to take over the steamboat and travel up the Congo. And he ends up going on a mission to like an inner station in Central Africa to rescue a mysterious man named Mr. Kurtz. Now we hear a lot about, brief kind of synopsises of little stories about this Mr. Kurtz, and Marlowe's kind of intrigued by this person. He wants to know more about him, and he's this sort of man of mystery, kind of larger than life from the tales that he hears. Along route, they encounter a lot of pretty horrific things, and I think that's where Conrad draws a lot from his own personal experiences as a kind of captain traveling up the Congo and working for a Belgian trading company. He saw a lot of horrific things, the white man's treatment of the natives, and we see that through Marlowe's character, and his character sort of changes too, I think, in his feelings towards the natives. There's a passage here where he talks about his helmsman, who he has a lot of trouble with at first. He describes him as inconsistent and attention-hungry fool, but once they sort of come under attack and he sees this helmsman die before his eyes, he has a second feelings for him and all the things that he's encountered en route, and then this other aspect. He says that I'm not prepared to affirm that the fellow Kurtz was exactly worth the life we lost in getting him. So it talks a lot about sort of England and their spread and imperialism and like I said, the white man's treatment of the natives in that area. I think there's a lot more to get out of this book than I probably got in this one sitting. Like I said, I had a little bit of difficulty with it, but the writing's very descriptive, and I did find it odd that he has such a fascination with the use of the dash within his writing, but I soon got used to that as well. But the descriptions are quite beautiful, and I look forward to maybe giving it another reread and getting a little more out of it, but overall I gave it 3 stars. It's currently 6 p.m. on day 3, and I think I'm going to go ahead and continue with my ebook, Tosh Hart's Tolstoy. Here's another screensaver, Skippy. I was reading this a little bit earlier today when I had to go away. I took it with me, and I think I'm just going to finish up the rest of the evening reading this and see if I can make another dent in my BookTubeAthon challenges.